Okay, gearheads, so this is what we have. We've taken and unsnapped the box here, take the cover off. It slides right out of this clamp after it's been loosened with the screwdriver. There we go with the filter. It doesn't look too bad, a little bit of dust down in here. So that all looks good. So we pried this, first off we pried this away from here. These clamps, they're kind of like a permanent type of a clamp, but I don't know. But anyway, they come off. Then I was able just to twist this like this and pull this out, whatever this plenum is. Maybe some experts out there can say why this big thing is here, but this is where the air comes through. It's a ram air effect basically, somewhat. So that exposes the screen. So we pull these two out by simply pushing out the center. Just using a screwdriver to pull them up like that, pull them out, and we can able to get the box. We're able to get this box off and take out two screws. This would be the MAF sensor. I can see little wires right inside there. These are the ones they tell you to watch out for. Don't get a bunch of cleaner up on that. Okay, so I pulled it out. And here we see this MAF screen, which they say is very sensitive. And so here's the stuff I picked up for that. We're going to spray that on there. Let's see here. Let's see how this works here. They say to let it dry real thoroughly too. It looks pretty clean from here. I just see a few stains on it. But anyway, like I say, I'm surprised there's no videos on this. So here we go. We're working our way through this. Common consensus is to remove this throttle body. See over here we have the drive-by-wire on this 35th anniversary Camaro. Over here we have the TPS throttle position sensor on this side. And so I guess the idea is to pull this off so we can get at the throttle body blade and see what we have there. We'll see what happens. Alright guys, so we've taken these two studs out from down under here. And see, just a stud with a little tin nut holding it on. I wish Chevrolet had the foresight to put a stud and a nut down there on their exhaust manifolds. Because if you ever have to get down in there, too bad so sad, they got some wimpy little silly millimeter long skinny bolt holding the flange up from the exhaust pipe into the manifold, and of course they rust in there. Twist right off, and then you got a big problem. Thanks a lot, GM. For you younger bucks, back in the old days when they used to have SAE bolts, they had a nice solid 3/8 stud with a nut down there, and much better. But the further we get along, planned obsolescence becomes more and more a fact of life for all of us. And you young ones, you never, in time, you'll not ever have known how much better things used to be. But here we go. Now we're going to take this. We took this one bracket off right here, and it looks like this is about ready to fall right off. I'm trying to see if I can get it out of there. I see a little blue mark right across here. I don't know if that's something from the factory right across the top here. Looks like the gasket is holding it on just a little bit. Oh, come on, gasket. Of course, half of it's here and half of it's there. Oh shit, it broke. It tore down at the bottom. Son of a bitch. Right there. Alright, oh, look at that. Look at that throttle plate. See that? Looks pretty gummed up. Look inside here. Alright, let's get down to it. Wow, with the sunlight, I had to pull my little video spotlight out in order to see down in there. There's goop going in back in there a ways. So, you know, we might as well get started on this. Throttle body cleaner, that's the only kind to use. Let's squirt some on there. Alright, now we're going to get a rag and start wiping. Alright, here's what we're going to do, gents. You see the throttle body right there? I've plugged it back in. Now, I'm going to go over there and turn the key on. And you're going to see drive-by-wire throttle. We're going to open. Let's open all the way. Okay, so here we go. I got that baby cracked open. If we want to get around the edges, you can see how I've cleaned this off. I want to get on the back side. I want to make sure I don't let the screen touch anything back here. This is just a little tip I picked up on my tribal research on the net. We don't want to, I don't know, you guys can pipe in on this down below, but for one thing we want to get the edge cleaned off, and we don't want to mess with the relearning part of this drive-by wire too much. That's why I'm letting it open the throttle instead of getting in there and opening it with my fingers. That's the theory anyway. Get some in there. Get on the back side. The back side's a lot cleaner. Of course, this gasket that's broke, it's hard to find over here. I made the call. I've got one on wheel call. I hope it comes in. It's only $2.50. I figured replace it rather than dick around trying to do anything else with this like I might do in other cases. Well then, so much for that theory. So I'm in there holding this open and cleaning everything out. You can see how nice it is. And all of a sudden the throttle blade just flips closed. I don't know why. And I tried to work the throttle inside the car and it doesn't work now. So much for that. We'll have to see what happens when we get her back together. It's too bad about this gasket, because there's not one nearby. I have to wait until 5 for one to come from a warehouse. Broke right across here. We're going to work on cleaning this mess up right in here right now. Alright gents, there it is, $2.49. Had to range far and wide to get this gasket. But it's a good thing that I'm replacing it because the other one was pretty brittle. You notice the nice sealant all around it? Okay. Now, I'm going to do, this is something I've done for myself through the years. I'm going to do the next guy a favor because I don't think I'll be back into this again. But this will prevent that sort of thing from happening for the next guy. Doesn't take much, just a little bit. And that gasket will come off on this side next time somebody gets into it. Put our little studs through. It's our little kind of a windy evening here. It's become evening as I waited to get this gasket. I waited for one store to get it trucked in from their warehouse, and when the truck came they didn't have the gasket. So then I had to drive further to another store that did have a gasket on the shelf. So now it is evening time. And it is move-in night for the Portland Roaster Show, and I had wanted to be down there. But such as it is. It probably wouldn't have hurt if I had put a little dab of that grease on these threads, although they're in pretty good shape. Okay. Okay, so I can't find my dag-nabbed ratchet, and it's my favorite little ratchet. Oh, look at here. I found my pocket knife laying over there, which has been missing. How many of you have done this? Admit it. I know you've done it. Look down here, way down here underneath my latch. There comes my ratchet. Okay, so at least I've recovered everything, as far as I know anyway. I'll put that down there. Alright, so we're going to need to go ahead and crank down these bolts. Doesn't take much, guys. You don't have to be a gorilla about it. I mean, just get it to where it's snug and give it one more little tap with your little tiny wrench here, and it's on there. For you neophytes that are always over tightening things, this is for you guys. It doesn't take much. Everything's machined nice and flat here. And that's all it really takes. Let's see if I can find the other one right down here. Yeah. So here I am doing this in the evening, and that damn Ricky Ray's probably still down at the roaster show. That's okay. That guy can be kind of an ass sometimes. But anyway, we'll be down there soon enough doing camera work too. So, good old Chuck. We'll get this done here pretty soon. Alright, so we've got those. Alright, here's our little sensor. We're just going to drop it back in. Looks like it has a little round seal right there, which looks like it's intact. So we'll just stuff it back on there. Yeah, that looks good. Get those two little screws in. Screw them down with a Phillips. At least they're using nice simple Phillips screws instead of some other fancy ones with some weird blade on them. Get them tightened down. We got this plugged back in. We got this little blue, it's a little lock thing. It just shoves right in there like that. Keeps it from coming unplugged. We wouldn't want to have our throttle stop on us, so so I would say that makes good sense. Okay, let's crank those screws down. Okay, next we get to see what order we're going to do this job in. Let's see here. Alright. We still got it plugged in here. I'm thinking I want to go ahead and stick this over like that. Alright, it's just kind of plopped on there. Okay, I've got the clamp at the top here. Slots. Okay, everything's looking good on there. Line up these holes right here. That one's in there. Press that one down. Okay. Alright, looks like everything's on. What do we do next? Start it up? Here we go. Let's see what happens. Let's see what it does. Oh man, gotta grease that hinge. That's the next thing on the list. Over there, yeah, it'll quiet down some in a bit. So far, so good. Alright, gearheads, we're going to let this run for a while and let that idle relearn itself. See what it does. It has popped up a code, the P0305, which is a misfire code. But we found that those codes, the cause could be a whole list of things. So, more than likely we're not done with this thing yet. But for now, adios. Remember guys, if you get anything out of this,